You are tuned into the 5-Minute Signal. I am Vance Kross. This is not a broadcast. This is a frequency, a direct transmission from the bleeding edge of tomorrow, delivered to you today. We cut through the noise, the narratives, and the manufactured hope to bring you the unvarnished truth. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's get to work. The Wire is humming today with a story that most of the mainstream press is too terrified to touch. A series of leaked internal protocols from 3 of the largest private healthcare conglomerates in North America has confirmed what we've suspected since the rollout of autonomous diagnostic tools in 2024. They are calling it the Clinical Throughput Optimizer, but in the hallways of the ICU, the nurses have a different name for it, the Triage Algorithm. This isn't a helpful assistant for doctors, it is a cold, calculated gatekeeper. As of this morning, these hospital networks have quietly moved from AI-assisted recommendations to algorithmic-led triage. When the floor is full and the resources are thin, it isn't a human being in a white coat making the call on who gets the last available bed. It is a Wieght file running on a server farm 300 miles away, cross-referencing your medical history against a predictive mortality model that cares more about the hospital's bottom line than your heartbeat. This matters because the very nature of care has been fundamentally re-engineered into a transaction of probability. For a century, the hospital was a sanctuary governed by the Hippocratic Oath, a commitment to the individual life in front of the provider. That era is dead. In the age of the triage algorithm, you have been reduced to a survival probability score. The machine looks at your age, your zip code, your insurance tier, and your pre-existing conditions, then it runs a simulation of your recovery. If your cost-to-benefit ratio doesn't meet the threshold, you aren't just a patient, you're a liability to the network's efficiency rating. We are seeing the birth of a healthcare system that views death not as a tragedy to be fought, but as a statistical necessity to be optimized. This is the commodification of survival, where the black box of AI removes the moral weight of the decision from the human doctor, allowing the institution to outsource its conscience to a line of code. The hard truth is that the machine doesn't value your soul, your legacy, or the people who love you. It values quality-adjusted life years. It is a math equation that decides that a 30-year-old with a high-income potential and a clean data footprint is worth 10 times the resource investment of a 70-year-old artist with a history of heart issues. The anti-hope here is that you cannot argue with the algorithm. You cannot plead with it. You cannot show it photos of your grandchildren. In the eyes of the AI, those photos are just unorganized data points that don't shift the mortality curve. We are being forced into a reality where our survival is contingent on our data-driven utility. The resource optimization engines are already live, and they are silently deciding who lives and who fades away based on parameters that are proprietary, hidden, and completely immune to your consent. You are no longer a patient, you are a data set being triaged by a landlord who owns the air you breathe. Your actionable move today is to reclaim your biological sovereignty before you find yourself in the back of an ambulance being screened by a bot. Step 1. Perform a medical data audit. Contact your primary healthcare provider and demand a full copy of your electronic health record, including any risk scores or predictive mortality indices attached to your file. Many hospitals use these scores behind the scenes without telling the patient. Know your number before it's used against you in a crisis. Step 2. Update your advanced directives with a specific algorithm clause. In your legal medical documents, explicitly state that you demand human clinical oversight for any life-sustaining decisions. Refuse the use of automated triage systems as the primary decision maker in your care. Make it a legal liability for them to let the machine have the final word. Step 3. Build a physical advocacy network. In the era of the triage algorithm, a solo patient is a vulnerable patient. Ensure that you have a designated healthcare proxy who is prepared to walk into a hospital and demand transparency. The machine thrives on the isolation of the patient. The only thing that can jam the gears of an automated decision is a human being standing in the room making a loud, undeniable, and very analog scene. The algorithm has already run the numbers on your exit. It's time you started making yourself a variable the machine can't solve.
I'm Vance Kross. This has been the 5-Minute Signal. Stay sharp.